So as you all know, today I will be talking about giving instructions. Um, so as teachers, we all have to give some instructions and we also need to give commands in our classroom. And we will be diving into this topic. And before we do this one, let me share the goals of the lesson for today. By the end of today's lesson, I hope you will be able to give clear classroom commands in English and use polite classroom instructions and use imperatives correctly. And you'll be able to sound kind and respectful when you speak English. But before we dive into this topic, let's do center vision or let's do some warm-up activity regarding yesterday lesson. So yesterday we talked about greetings and saying hello and setting the lesson in the class. So these are some of the expressions from yesterday. So we learned greeting as an example here. Good morning, class. So I made the word red here to make you know the stress. So good morning, class, and how are you today? And let's begin. So these are from yesterday lesson. Okay. So now I prepare some questions to check understanding. Just say true or false. So volunteer teachers, you can say that if you are okay with saying true or false. Okay, so here it is. Read each sentence. Let's say true or false. Number one, teachers should greet students when class starts. Is that true or false?
True.
True, sir.
True, right? So we should greet our students when our class starts. That's correct. What about number two? Good morning, class is classroom English. Yes or no?
No.
What is a greeting?
Is it?
So, what's your answer? True or false?
True.
True, I think.
True, right? Yeah, that's right. So, good morning is used everywhere, but here, class, we have this word. So, it's classroom English, correct? What about number three? Students can answer I'm fine when the teacher asks, how are you today?
True. It's also true.
True.
It's also true, okay? And number four, teachers should use only Burmese in the classroom.
False.
False.
False. False.
Okay, that's not related to our classroom language, right? Because we're talking about English, so we shouldn't use Burmese all the time. But in some cases, we can use Burmese depending on the subject we are teaching, right? But it shouldn't be all the time. So there's false. What about number five? Please sit down is polite classroom language.
True.
True.
True, okay. Great. So you understand perfectly. Number six, teachers do not need to practice speaking English.
False.
False.
It's
Okay, so we all need to practice speaking English, right? That's correct.
yeah.
False. What about number seven? Let's begin can be used to start a lesson.
True.
True,
True.
okay. Number eight, making mistakes in English is normal when learning. Is that normal?
True.
True.
Okay, thank you. Great. And number nine, teachers should speak loudly and clearly in English.
True.
True.
Okay. The last one for the quiz session, number 10, greeting students helps create a positive classroom atmosphere or environment.
Yes. True.
True.
True, yes, okay. So today we'll be talking about giving instructions in the classroom. So when we give instructions, so we give commands, right? So the first question for all of us here for today is, what are commands? So one teacher, please, can you give us the definition of commands?
I think it is like feedback.
Feedback, okay. Any
Okay.
any other
And
any other teachers? Do you agree or disagree with that definition or
I think command means orders.
commands mean what? Order, okay. Hmm.
Oh, yes.
Okay, yeah.
Yes, sir. Let me say for the comment, sir.
Okay.
So, sorry.
Please go
Okay,
ahead.
sir. Actually, sir, commands is familiar with like those of orders or instructions, sir. Uh, in some of the class, we should have the same sets for the classroom rules, sir. Especially in my, I have set some rules in my classroom, especially in my time slot, sir. In my time slot, in my period, sir. Uh, uh, that are very clear and very simple, sir. Number one is don't speak with Burmese language. Whatever you want to ask or something, try to speak with English. Number two is don't make noise. So if you want to ask or ask or discover about something, just raise your hand. Yeah. Number three is sit nicely. Number four, please pay attention and be focused what you're learning. Yeah, that's it.
Okay. Thank you for
That's just
sharing
cool.
your classroom technique and then your teaching technique and your setting rules in your classroom. So,
Yes, thanks, sir.
it works in your classroom? Does it really work in your classroom?
Yeah, actually, it really works, sir. Because of in my times, most of us are silent, sir.
Okay. Thank you for sharing. Yeah, okay. So commands, in other words, so like teacher Inwe said, it means orders. So as a teacher, we can give commands or we can give orders, we can give instructions. So here we go. I will give here. I have prepared the definition for you. Commands are sentences we use to tell students what to do. So that means commands. So we tell our students what to do. Those things are called commands. Here are some examples. So as a teacher, we say sit down or stand up. We also say open your book, depending on what we are doing. So we use different commands or different orders that our students should follow. So teachers use commands every day in the classroom. There is no classroom time that teachers don't use commands. So commands are very important and we all have to use them. The reason for using commands are we have different kinds of students and they come from different backgrounds. That's why we need to use commands. Every student doesn't follow the rule and they might do what they like to do in some cases or in many kinds of situations. All right, so commands and sentences we use to tell students what to do. In other words, so we give instructions. They're called commands. Common classroom commands. So again, two teachers, please. Can you give me like two examples? What are some common classroom commands?
So please sit nicely. Don't make a noise.
Okay. Please
Look at the Bible. Look at the Bible. Don't be noisy.
Okay. Look at the board. Look at the board and don't be noisy.
Don't be noisy.
Pay attention,
Open
please.
your
Listen carefully.
textbook.
Okay.
Hannes, hand down.
And okay.
Please sit down.
Listen to the teacher.
Listen to the teacher. Oh, okay, a lot. Okay.
Yes, please be quiet.
Read aloud.
Please be quiet.
Open your text.
Read aloud.
Repeat
Read
after
aloud.
me.
Slowly,
Don't
please.
speak loudly. Listen carefully.
Listen carefully. Okay. Listen carefully.
Spelling the word.
Sorry, can you say that again, teacher?
Pay attention.
Spelling the word.
Pay attention. We already I already wrote it down in so on the fourth line. I heard
Listen
something. What is
carefully
it?
to the
Spelling the
audio.
word or spell the word? Okay. Anyway, thank you for sharing. I got here a lot of commands that we use in the classroom. So these instructions are very helpful. So please sit nicely, look at the board, don't be noisy, pay attention, please, and listen. Listen to the teacher. Please be quiet. Open your text or open your textbook. Read aloud. Repeat after me. Speak slowly. So repeat after. Some of the instructions are only used when we teach children, like repeat after me. So when we teach older students, like middle school students or high school students, we don't usually use that instruction any longer. But in some cases, we might use. And some of the instructions are very useful for younger children. Listen carefully, spell the word. Thank you for your sharing. And these are very helpful. And I think many of the teachers here already using these commands. I prepare very simple instructions. So teacher says like these instructions, sit down, stand up, and then open your book, close your book, listen carefully, and look at the board. These are just example. You can use other instructions as well, just like you mentioned a moment ago. Okay, so these are very common commands in the classroom, and please use them as much as you can. If you're not using these instructions, you're encouraged to use them all the time in the classroom. Another thing is we need to be polite in the classroom. If we are polite and our students, they are also required to be polite because we are role models in the classroom. If we are noisy or if we are a little rude, maybe our students will be following our examples. So we should be polite in the classroom. Here are some of the examples that you can use in your polite language. You can use please. You can also use less. Example, please sit down. Instead of saying sit down, you can say please sit down. Instead of saying listen, you can also say please listen. And let's read together. It's also a kind of instruction. Example, like in the classroom as a teacher, if you say let's read together, you are asking them to do something together. So you can say read together, or you can also say let's read together. But if you use less, so let me write something here. Less is equal to let us. So let us, that means we would do something together. Let us read together. Let's read together. So we are asking our students to do something together. It means let's read together. So in short, you can use please or less to be polite in the classroom. So please follow me, please line up. You can also say let's line up or let's listen together. So these two words are very helpful in the classroom. and they will appreciate if we are polite. And they are also needed to be polite because we are role models for them. Okay, so this is the set topic, be polite in the classroom. As a teacher, we need to be their role models. We also need to be respectful to their opinions and then to their actions. We also need to correct them if they do something wrong. So for that matter, we need to be polite in the classroom. And when we give classroom instructions, so here are some example that you can say. As an example, please open your book and please listen carefully and let's work together. Let's start the lesson. Polite tone meaning we are creating a better classroom atmosphere. So let me go to the next slide. I will ask one teacher, please respond to this one. When do we use commands? You can also think about yourself. When do you use commands in the classroom? Think about a situation that you use the command in the classroom. I'm gonna pick one teacher from here. So
Yes, sir.
I would.
When the student,
Okay, please go ahead.
when the student, okay, when the student is very noisy, so the teacher can say, "Don't be noisy. Please don't be noisy."
Mm-hmm. All right, thank you for sharing. Yeah. What about?
Okay, so can I share? Hello, Sia, can you
Yeah, I can
hear
hear you.
me?
We can hear you.
Okay, so fourth command when we use this, we use command when we want to tell something to do something clearly or directly, and also command are commonly used in this like this situation. And you told that we need to give an example, like to give the instruction or to give direction or like to manage behavior or to act for action politely, like you said already, using place like or emergency or urgent situation, we use command. For that, I say that to give instruction, for example, open your book like that, or as to give direction, as you said already, line at or outside. When in classroom, we need to manage our behavior of students. So we need to say that be quiet or please do something like that. So in classroom, all of the teacher are use command to guide learning activity and keep the classroom organized. That is when I think that we use command when it is in classroom, sir.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Yeah, that's right. Thank you for sharing those thoughts, and those are very helpful as well. So here's another example in the classroom that we use commands in these kinds of situations. So your answer is also correct. Yeah, example, teacher Inu said when the students are noisy, so we say, please don't be noisy. That's a polite request, right? To be quiet and then to get the attention from the students or from the class. And your examples is very helpful. Go blue. So here are my examples. So teachers use commands when studying the lesson. Like example, open your book or turn to page blah blah blah, right? Changing activities. And when we want to do something different, we use commands. So we would say make a group of two or work in pair. Let's stop doing this and then do that one instead of doing pair work or the other things, right? So changing activities, we use commands, and we also use commands when we want to get students' attention, like don't be noisy, please be quiet. All right. Another situation is we use commands when we give tasks or instructions. And when we end our lesson, we also use commands. Example, let's stop here. Let's take a break. So we use commands. So we can use in two ways, using let us, or we can also use please to be polite. All right. Stop doing the activity or stop writing, time's up. So we use commands. in these kind of situation. Another thing is, as an example here, please sit down and open your book, work in pairs, please line up, usually in the assembly or when we do something together. So students have to line up. So we would say, please line up or please make a queue. So commands help the class run smoothly. If we don't give commands, they might be doing what they want to do. So for that reason, giving commands is very helpful and effective in the classroom to run our class smoothly. Another question that I want you to think about is, how do we use commands? How? Using commands is very powerful, but if we misuse the commands, students might not follow our words any longer. So we also need to think about how we use them. It's a very powerful tool. But some teachers, they misuse their authority and their power. So by that way, students are not very happy. They might be quiet, but they're not very happy. They might follow that teacher's instruction. It can happen. So we need to practice, and we also need to train our thoughts and the way we see our students to have a very good relationship with our students. Because every teacher uses commands in the classroom. There is no teacher who doesn't use commands. But think about how we use them. So here, as an example, so to get attention, we should use commands to get attention. We would say, class or everyone, pay attention to my words, listen carefully. So to get attention. Another situation is to say the command clearly, and we use the command to let them know what they need to do. Some students are now opening the book and they are still talking to their friend, and we will say, open your book, by calling out that student's name. But another thing is, we need to be polite and we need to use a polite tone. Even when we are angry with our students, we should never show our anger. Sometimes it can happen in the classroom, we have different opinions. Some students are a little stubborn because maybe they are not mature yet and they always think they are right. But even in that kind of situation, we need to be polite, because as a teacher, winning the debate or winning the situation is not an important thing to do. For us, we need to be polite and we need to be a good role model. So that's also another thing that we need to consider when we give a command. We still need to use a polite tone, even when students are wrong. We shouldn't mock the students, but we would just stay be polite. So, as an example, we would say, please open your book. Even if they're not listening, we would say, please open your book, Mamong, or we will use their name. And we use command by showing our gestures or our body language if needed. Especially when we teach children, we can just talk and talk all the time. We need to use our body language. We also need to do some activity, and we also need to jam and sing and songs, and we also need to do actions when we sing a song. So they are very helpful. Example, when we say our children, primary school children or kindergarten children, we also need to stand up, because most of the time they don't understand what we are saying. So we say, please sit down, and we also sit down. Please stand up, and we also stand up, showing our actions. They are very helpful. So as an important note, be clear, calm, and kind when we give commands. By that way, students, they will, even though they don't want to follow us, they will pay attention to us and they will listen to us. So these are some of the ways that we should use the commands to get attention and then to make our words clearer in the classroom. but we need to remember to use a polite tone and polite language. And we need to use our body language if it is needed. Okay, so let me move on another one. This is talking about the reason why. So teacher Koblu already talked about it, why we use commands. He gave us a couple of examples. And we use commands to help students understand what to do. They will understand what they need to do. Listen carefully, and so by that way, they will know what they need to do. And if we give the reason, it will make them understand better. Listen carefully because I will play the audio file only one time. This is the exam, and you won't have the second chance. All right. So we use the commands to help our students understand what to do. It can be anything. If you teach math, it would be doing calculation or adding up the numbers or subtractions. You also need to use different commands. We don't have the same commands, but we use them to help our students understand what they need to do. And then to save time in the classroom, instead of giving a talk, we just use the command. Stop talking, or please pay attention to your friends' words. Be respectful, right? So those are commands. So to save time in the classroom, to make the longer words short, we use the commands. Another reason is to keep the class organized. As we all know, they all come from different backgrounds and they have different kinds of family problems. And so for that reason, we need to make some rules to follow. They don't have the same understanding and the same kinds of environment. So to keep the class organized, we need to use the commands. And we also use the commands to help students feel safe and guided. We should be fair and square in our classroom. For that reason, we use the commands. We won't favor one student over another. We won't be biased based on the gender, whether girls or boys. So to feel safe and guided. And another reason is we use the commands to support learning in English.
Recording in progress.
So these are some of the reasons that we use the commands in the classroom. I am thinking about my classroom. If you're teaching math or English, Burmese or science or other subjects, it will be other things as well. So the last reason here is we use commands to support learning in English. All right, so I gave you some of the reasons why we use commands. I also talked about how we use them and when we use them. So now let me be talking about general English. So when we use commands in grammar, let's say in grammar we use imperatives. Imperatives are the word or a phrasal word that start with the verb. So what I mean by imperatives is the sentence or the phrase that start with the verb at the beginning. That is the base form. That is also called the infinitive without to. Example, so this is just the verb. So if we use the verb, the base form or the original verb, so we're giving commands. Example, sit or read, write, listen. So they are called imperatives. You can think about anything. It can be in any kind of situation. Older people or people who are older than us or people who know better and who have the authority and they use the imperatives form or they give orders. It might be our daddy or our mommy. It might be our principal. They can use the commands. But in the let's say in the classroom, students are not supposed to give orders or to give instructions to the teachers. But we are supposed to give orders or instructions or commands. because if it is my classroom, I'm the leader, or I am, let's say, the most important person to listen to. Students, they will look up to us. All right. So these are called imperatives. It starts with the verb: sit, read, write, or listen. It's very simple, right? So imperatives are short and clear. We don't need to give a speech. We don't need to say a lot of things. We just need to give a command. And another thing that I would like to point out is polite versus strong commands. It's a little different. Teaching sentence isn't that much simple. Sometimes students can make their teachers very angry because they don't listen. They're very playful, especially boys. They're not very attentive. But whatever it is, we need to watch our language as a teacher. If we make mistakes, sometimes it can be a big problem. So we can also give strong commands, like without using please or without using let's. So let's means doing something together, let's. So we won't use please or let's. We can just use the imperative form, pure imperative forms, like sit down. Sometimes we need to be serious because if we're not serious, as students, they might think that they can do whatever they like in the classroom. All right. So in that kind of
Please sit
situation,
down.
we can use strong commands like sit down. Listen, I am talking to you. All right. So we also need to play with our voice as well and open your book. Everyone, open your book. And sometimes they keep talking. They don't listen to us. So we need to use strong commands in some cases, but not all the time. Most of the time, we need to use polite language like please sit down. Please listen. Let's open our books. If let's say some of the students are not opening their books, we can go to them and then we will open their book for them. So by that way, they will be listening to us in some ways. Right? When we use strong commands, we also play with our voice and then we are serious. So polite English sounds friendly. Sometimes we shouldn't be too friendly because some students, they might think that those teachers are not very serious and then we can do whatever they like in the classroom. So to, let's say, to put the line between the students and the teacher, we need to be serious as well. Okay, so these are something that we should consider when we give commands. Okay, so in general English, I just talked about two things. The first one is imperative form in grammar, and the second thing is polite versus strong commands. Any other comments?
No.
If not, now is the time to practice impair. So there will be two teachers in the breakout room. One teacher will act out as a teacher and another teacher will act out as a student. So I will put two students, sorry, not two students. It would be two teachers rather. So two teachers in a breakout room. So if your partner is the principal or let's say the academic manager, so you can get some suggestions and some kinds of instructions as well because they are more experienced and they know better than all of us. So in that kind of situation, if your partner is the principal or the academic manager or an English teacher, you can ask them some suggestion. So I'll give you 5 minutes. So in that 5 minutes, it will be just only two in the breakout room session. And so just give 3 classroom instructions. So if you are a Burmese teacher, you can say some of the instructions that you might use in the classroom. If you are a math teacher, it will be the same. It will apply the same rules. Okay. After that, change your roles. So you will have about 2 minutes each because I'm gonna give you 5 minutes in total. Okay, so just use English. The goal is to use English more in classroom. So it's just like preparing everyone, not just only English teachers, the other teachers as well. Let me stop sharing my screen real quick, and then so as a friendly reminder, try to use these instructions every day. Example, please sit down and open your book, listen carefully, and let's begin. Like yesterday, very simple, but please use them. So let me be asking 2 questions. The first one is, which command is easy? So as an example for me, when I have to give instructions related to the lessons, so those commands are very easy for me because it isn't related to anything to their personal things. And the second question, which command is difficult? If I have to give some commands related to their privacy, so for me, they're very difficult. So those are my example answers. One teacher, please. Which command is easy?
Please tap on your computer. Because I am a computer teacher, I often use this command. It's familiar and it's easy for me.
Okay, thank you. So the second teacher, let's say another teacher, please answer the second question. Which command is difficult? Think about a situation that you have to give a command that is difficult for you. For me, for another example, it is a little difficult for me, like in the especially in the exam room. I have to play the audio file only one time. I have to remind my student that listen carefully. I'm going to play the audio file only one time. You won't have the second chance because this is the exam. So other times it's a little difficult for me. I know that some of the students are not ready to do that task or that kind of thing. So it's a little difficult for me, for that matter, especially in the exam.
Okay. As for me, I think if the student don't know the English words, every comment is difficult for me. If the student don't know, like basically like sit down or stand up like that, if they don't know this word, every comment is difficult for me.
Okay. Thank you for sharing. One more teacher for the second question. I am just wanted to know what command is difficult for you. One more teacher.
Yes, I like in a scenario in which the student is not listening to the teacher, and when I have to say, please stand up for 10 minutes or maybe 15 minutes. This is sometimes difficult for me, but I have to do this sometimes.
Yeah. To teach the lesson really well, right?
Yes, sir.
Usually it happens to be a boy or boys, right?
Of course, sir. Sometimes the students are very difficult to handle. Not every student, sir.
Probably especially young children.
Yes, sir. I'm afraid to teach very young children. I'm very afraid of that.
Yeah. I also experienced those kind of students, especially younger children.
Yes, sir.
Thank you for sharing. Yeah. Okay, so let me move on another thing. As a side note, so here so like yesterday, practice makes improvement. Yesterday I wrote another sentence, practice makes progress, but today the same meaning, practice makes improvement. So practice. The more you practice, the more you will find your place, how you should do something, and then how you're gonna do something really well. So practice is key to mastering something, even in teaching. So just like Sian and I, so teaching children was very difficult for me. It was like 10 years ago in 2000, over 10 years ago. In 2013, I had to teach children, even though I didn't know how to handle them. It was very difficult for me. But after some time, I find my comfort zone, how to teach them and how to handle them. Yeah, so that's another thing. So practice makes improvement. That's true for maybe every field. So I will talk about this in a little bit, about 5 minutes. English language. In English, we need to know word stress, not like Burmese language. So let me go to my previous slide. So here as an example, they would say good morning, because that in this word we use the first syllable stress, morning, and here's class. Normally in words they don't use stress if there's only one syllable or one sound. They would say CASS, class. But in sentence, or when we give instructions or commands, we need to use stress because this word is important. It carries the meaning in this sentence. So they would say, good morning, class. Instead of saying class, they would say class.
Morning, please.
Good morning, class.
Class.
And here is another thing. So when you see the red letters, so it has stress. Good morning, class. They don't use English people or American people. They would never ever say good morning, class. Good morning, class. That's not the way they say. You can change it and you can try to say the way they say. If you take time to practice, let's say 5 or 10 minutes a day, after 1 or 2 months, you will see your progress and you will be amazed how improved you are. The second example is, how are you today? And this one is the second syllable stress, so they would say let's begin. Let's begin. So if you speak in this way using intonation, you will be like an American or you will be like a British person. So if the first one is word stress, you need to know word stress. And don't worry about word stress too much because there are some rules that you can know. As an example, in the word stress, you can also look it at on the internet. You can read some articles. This is just an introduction. And you can dive some of the information on the internet. It's very easy to look it up. Example, if the word ends with ISH, there is stress before ISH. Example, we have this one. So the stress is here before ISH.
One up. Let's review.
If a word ends with ESE, there's a stress on that, on those letters. So example, BURMESE. So the stress is here. Burmese. And then another one is the stress is the second syllable stress. One more example is the last syllable stress, Chinese and Japanese, Vietnamese. All right. So little by little, you can try to build up your skills on word stress. It can take time, but it's not very difficult if you try to remember some of the words. If a word ends with ION, usually the stress is before ION. Example. Example, television. So the stress is here, television. The stress is here before ION or TION or SION. Vision. Communication. Attraction. So you can learn these things little by little. Okay. If you want to be good at spoken language, and if you want to sound like more natural. Okay, so let me go to my last slide. So thank you for your attention. If you have any question, you can post your question. And tomorrow I will be talking about asking questions.
I don't know exactly how to know which first syllable, second syllable is stress. How to
No problem.
how to
Yeah,
know?
I know your question. Okay, so let me write something here. Okay, where is it? Let me write something here. It's a good question. Let me make it short real quick. Let's say we have nouns and then verbs. Now you're talking about two-syllable words, right? So we have, let's say here, P-R-E-S-E-N-T, and in verb, P-R-E-S-E-N-T. And then another one is you can think about other words, like it has two, they have two syllables. And you can also think about here. So, as an example, to make you understand better, if you have a noun, it has two syllables. It has the first syllable stress. Example, this one, P-I-E-S-E-N-T, and they would say, they would use the first syllable stress. They would say present, 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 right? I'm going to give you a present, present. But if it is a verb, they would say present, the second syllable stress, present. And you can also think about the other thing. Some words have both forms. Another one is here, two-syllable word. This one is a two-syllable word, apple, laptop, the first syllable stress, and then orange. And this is the first syllable stress, so they would say record. Example, my friend broke a record in a marathon. So a record. My friend has a lot of records. This one is a verb. They would say record. Can I record a video of you teaching a lesson? Right? So it is record. So if it is a noun, let's say most of the time, about 90%, they use the first syllable stress. If it is a verb, it has two syllables. It has two syllables. They use the second syllable stress. Just only in some occasions, like some of the words, they use the first syllable stress, but most of the time they use the second syllable stress, like this one. They use the first syllable stress. Listen. But this is an exception. If it is an adjective and it has two syllable stress, two syllable words, and they are adjective, we use the first syllable, the first syllable stress. So you can think about anything. So they would say happy. I'm happy. I'm very happy. selfish, angry, hungry. I'm angry. I'm angry with my friend or with my students. So hungry. They are hungry. Hungry, hungry. Angry, selfish. So these are adjectives. They have 2 syllables. We use the first syllable stress. Okay, you can see in that way. If it is a noun, we use the first syllable stress. If it is a verb, usually or normally we use the second syllable stress. If it is an adjective, we use the first syllable stress.
Yes, sir. Noun and adjectives.
Are the same.
We have 2 syllables now. Noun and adjective are the same. First syllable stress.
Yes.
Okay. Thank you, sir.
Okay. You're welcome.